The Red Sox made a sneaky good move yesterday, and today we're going to break it down. But before we do, if you want the Red Sox to make the playoffs, don't jinx it. Like the video. Every single person that watches this video today should like the video, because I think all of us, no matter how good or bad this team is doing, wants the Red Sox to make the playoffs. So all you got to do to make sure you don't jinx it is like today's video. Welcome back into another edition of the Red Sox Rundown. I'm your host, Jack. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. The Red Sox made a few roster moves yesterday. We're going to talk about that and why I think that it's a very good move. Also talk about Walker Buehler and is his spot up for grabs. We're also going to talk about Justin Slaten and how the bullpen looks for the future. Let's get into it. The big roster news that happened yesterday. Isaiah Campbell was sent down and Richard Fitz was called up to be in a relief role. Here's what Chris Cotillo and Sean McAdam had to say on Richard Fitz. Fitz has never pitched in relief in the majors. All of his 14 outings are starts, and he has made 17 starts this year. 10 in the majors, 6 in AAA, and 1 rehab outing in AA. In fact, he has pitched in relief just once as a professional in 94 outings. He followed opener Bailey Horn in a 4 1/3 inning relief appearance on May 11, 2024 for Worcester. He pitched in both the rotation and bullpen during 3 collegiate seasons at Auburn from 2019 to 2021. I love this move for the Red Sox. I think it is absolutely one of the best things they could have done. You take one of your starting pitching depth and you move it to the bullpen. And I think Fitz in particular is a very interesting bullpen piece. He's struggled as of late at the major league level in terms of starting. There's no doubt about that. You look at the stats, they're not pretty. But if you can get him to ultra focus on 1, maybe 2 innings at a time and be able to use his high-powered stuff, maybe even more full tilt than he would for a normal start, that's another high-impact, high-leverage right-handed reliever that you need, because the Isaiah Campbells, Giovanni Morans, all of those types are not cutting it. They're not cutting it right now. And we've seen that as over the last few weeks, the bullpen has struggled. And with Justin Slaten yet to get called back up because he is still going through his rehab starts, you need a dynamic righty out of the bullpen. And I think Richard Fitz, who has shown flashes of being really good at the major league level this year, could be that guy. I think this is the best they could have made. And I know that people are going to say in the comments, what about Cooper Criswell? What about Cooper Criswell? What about Cooper Criswell? Cooper Criswell was put on the minor league IL yesterday. Let me make sure I have the right injury with right elbow inflammation. So that's not great. So I don't know if we see Cooper Criswell at all the rest of the year. He's been fantastic when he's been up. But now being put on the IL, especially with right elbow injury, it's definitely something to monitor and something to think about. So Richard Fitz, one of the best options that already has major league experience. You could talk about David Sandlin, Connor Lee Early, Tyler Uberstein. You could talk about Peyton Tolley. Those are names that I think are more likely to be talked about at the beginning of September when rosters go from 26 to 28 players. I think right now what this team needs is a relatively proven commodity in the bullpen. And while, again, Richard Fitz has not made any relief appearances except for one, he still is a proven commodity at the major league level. He's faced major league batters. He's been up at Fenway and on the road. This is a very valuable asset that the Red Sox are going to have out of the bullpen, and I really, really like this idea. Do you like bringing up Richard Fitz to play in the bullpen? Type Y for yes, type N for no down below in the comments. YouTube is about to throw you an ad break. That means an ad is about to play. Let the ad play. Do not skip it. It actually helps us here at the Red Sox Rundown. So don't skip the ad. Go down below and answer the question. Y for yes or N for no. Do you like bringing up Richard Fitz to pitch out of the bullpen? Another interesting note from this Chris Cotillo, Sean McAdam article was about Walker Buehler. and about how he might be on the hot seat really, really quickly. Here's what Cotillo and McAdam had to say. According to sources, the Red Sox continue to have discussions about how long to stay with veteran Walker Buehler in the rotation. Buehler is tentatively scheduled to pitch next Monday night in Baltimore, but the Red Sox have been reassessing his rotation spot and might further do so after an uneven 4+ inning, 4-walk performance in Tuesday's loss. Fitz would be one option along with Kyle Harrison and potentially Cooper Criswell, obviously not Criswell because he just went on the IL with an injury, to replace Buehler if a move were to be made. Having him with the club could potentially make a shakeup easier. Yeah, this is interesting to think about because I'm just not going to mince words here. Buehler has not been good, and I think that the short leash that Buehler had in his last outing said a lot. It said a lot about how the Red Sox view him right now. Justin Wilson was warming up in the 3rd inning of that game against the Baltimore Orioles. The 3rd inning, Justin Wilson was warming up. Having that short of a leash says a lot about how much Cora does not trust Buehler and how hot his seat really is as we get into September, as we get into this playoff push. Buehler's had a few good starts, but he's struggled a lot. And the fact that he is continuing to walk a lot of batters, give up a lot of hits, and not strike people out, that's a liability as we get closer to the playoffs. So if Richard Fitz shows up and shows out, he could be a viable option. I also mentioned Kyle Harrison, who has been pitching well in AAA. Maybe a Peyton Tolle in September if he is pitching really well. We shall see. But based on this report and based on things that we've seen over the last week or so, I don't think Walker Buehler is going to be with this team for much longer. I would hope to be wrong. I think he's perfect for Boston. I think just the vibe and the person that he is great for Boston. But if he's not performing, then why are you wasting a rotation spot on him? It just doesn't make any sense. So having Richard Fitz up is a primer to, then potentially slot him into that 5th rotation spot if they decide to move on from Walker Buehler. I want you guys to let me know down below in the comments. Would you move on from Walker Buehler? Type C if you would cut him or DFA him. K if you would keep him in the rotation. I've said it for a while now. I don't think he's long for this rotation anymore. I think that his days are limited. I think he is definitely on the hot seat. And the most telling thing that we've seen was how short his leash was in the last outing. So you let me know. C for cut if you would cut him. K for keep if you would keep him. This is going to be a divisive one. I really want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. We did also get some injury news on Justin Slaten. And this is another factor that I think is going to go into Walker Buehler and Richard Fitz and what's going to happen over the next few weeks. Because, again, this series that starts today is key. If you split this series, you win the season series against the Yankees, which means you also hold the tiebreaker against the Yankees, which is very important as you push for seeding in the wild card. So you need to have the 13 best arms in the bullpen and on the pitching staff. You have to. There's no room for error here. And bringing up Richard Fitz, potentially having Slaten back soon, is going to be very, very key. Here's what Cotillo and McAdam had to say about Justin Slaten. Boston is awaiting the impending return of righty setup option Justin Slaten, who made his first rehab start in Worcester on Tuesday night, striking out the side on 15 pitches. God, that would be refreshing to have in this bullpen. Because Slaten has missed nearly 3 months with a shoulder issue, the club does not want to rush him back and cut his rehab assignment short. It's expected that Slaten makes a couple more rehab outings before returning. I'm fine with this. I'd rather him come back completely 100% full strength than for them to rush him back and risk more injury. I still think the timetable is probably the beginning of September. And when that's the case, it's going to add an instant jolt to your bullpen. I think if Fitz is in that role for now, by the time Slaten is back and by the time Slaten is feeling better, then that might be the time to make the move of moving Richard Fitz into the rotation. I cannot stress enough how important it is to have a high leverage righty in front of Aroldis Chapman. To have options, Isaiah Campbell's not an option in front of Aroldis Chapman. Yovani Moran is not an option in front of Aroldis Chapman. They are low-leverage relievers, and they can't even do that right. So if you have Justin Slaten as your setup man in the 8th, or you flip-flop them, depending on matchups, you have Chapman in the 8th and Slaten in the 9th, that's a very impactful 1-2 punch that you have not had for a while. Your bullpen, is slowly starting to come together. Your two biggest liabilities, Yovani Moran and Isaiah Campbell, are both now in AAA. You're bringing up relievers that actually have some impact. You brought back Bernardino. You're bringing up Richard Fitz. Like, I literally tweeted out the gif from Emperor's New Groove. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. They are finally starting to phase out some of these low leverage relievers and bring in some of their more proven commodities. And when you get Slaten back, that is the cherry on top of what I think could be a dominant bullpen going into the postseason. They do need to perform, though, but you are getting rid of some of those low leverage stopgap relievers that have been in the bullpen over the past few weeks. We're going to talk about what I would personally do in a second, but make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are getting so close to 5,000 subscribers, and I'm going to keep stressing it. I know you guys are probably like, Jack, stop talking about 5,000 subscribers. Jack, stop talking. I'm going to keep pushing until we get there because that is the goal. I am trying to get there by the 1st of September. It is August 20th on the day of recording this. We are getting close. For this playoff run, I want to be at our full form, at our top level. And getting to 5,000 subscribers would be a big deal for the channel. So if you have not already hit that subscribe button, do it right now. And if you already have, help a brother out. Send the link to this video to a friend and say, hey, this is the best Red Sox channel on YouTube. You should also subscribe to them. Spread the word and help me out. Help us get to 5,000 subscribers as soon as possible. So what would I do? If I were Craig Breslow, what would I do? This is what I would do. When Slaten is healthy, you bring him back and you insert him into the bullpen. You then move Richard Fitz to the rotation in Walker Buehler's spot. And then you move on from Walker Buehler. Then I would probably, as much as I would love to call Peyton Tolley up, it doesn't seem like they're ramping him up to be a reliever. But they are ramping David Sandlin up to be a reliever. Sandlin also, I believe, is Rule 5 eligible at the end of this year. So you need to put him on the 40-man. So when the roster expansion comes, I think Sandlin is the name that gets called to join the bullpen. And then if Richard Fitz or Dustin May or someone like that flames out in the rotation, then you can have the conversation about a Kyle Harrison or a Peyton Tolley or someone different to take that 5th rotation spot. I am confident with our first 3 starters. Crochet, Bayo, Giolito have all been relatively consistent. It's those last 2 starters that really worry me. And then in the rotation, I feel relatively confident about most of the people in the rotation right now. It's just, those low leverage stopgap relievers that needed to go, and now they're gone. So we're going to see how this works out over the next few weeks. I think that Buehler's seat is the hottest of anyone on the current 26-man roster. But I think a lot's going to happen. And I think them bringing up Richard Fitz right now to work out of the bullpen is a sneaky good move that I think is going to help them quite a bit. All right, Red Sox start a 4-game series against the Yankees tonight. Lucas Giolito, Brian Bayo, Garrett Crochet, Dustin May. Those are your starters. Do the Red Sox win this series? You need at least a series split to win the season series, against the Yankees, which is crucial. You need to hold that tiebreaker over New York. I think you've lost the tiebreaker to Seattle, if I remember correctly. So Seattle holds the tiebreaker against you. You cannot have both teams hold the tiebreakers over you. You need to at least split this series. But I want them to win it. I'm getting selfish. I want them to go into the Bronx and prove that they are still the team that we think they can be. So you let me know. Do the Red Sox win this series? A simple yes or no. Comment it down below in the comments. That's where we're going to end today's video. Thank you all so much for taking the time to watch this video. Go follow me on Twitter at JackLauderay for the latest around the Red Sox. All of my tweets, my rants, my raves. I live tweet every game as well. Don't miss out. Follow me over on Twitter. That link's going to be down below in the comments and description of today's video. And make sure you subscribe. 5,000 subscribers is the goal. We're getting close, but we're not there yet. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you respond to all the comments that all the questions I asked in today's video. We're going to see you tomorrow. We'll recap Game 1 against the Yankees. And until next time, go Sox.